Good evening, everyone. So today I'm going to be talking about a few things, one of which is the sword that I made. I made a modification to it, and I figured I'd show you the entire sword in somewhat greater detail because in my last video I didn't really show it to you up close. I just kind of waved it around at a distance. So, since that video, actually just this evening, I sharpied on some elven, kind of elven-y, viney patterns and mirrored them on each side and used my carbide Dremel tool to cut those in. They're not quite as clean as I would have liked, but they still look kind of nice. But I'll show you the whole thing a little bit up closer from the tip. Sword. Originally I planned to have the wood of the hilt extend further up, which would have necessitated another hole in the steel, but eventually I just decided to cut it off right there, and instead of just leaving a hole there, I decided to put a little brass pin through it and just peen it over. And there, I think, yeah, it's over. No, it's on the other side. Yeah, there's a crack in the wood. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it, but there's a crack in the wood from that. But yeah. There you go. See it a little better now. And I cut up some... well, recently I ordered some steel for another project. It was just mild steel. I ordered a piece of two 4-foot pieces. One was 1/4 by 2 inch, and one was 1 inch by 2 inch, which was pretty stout stuff. And the tube it came in was like friggin' 3/8 or 1/2 inch cardboard round tube, and that was an awesome thing to cut up. I mean, it was tough stuff, but I did some pretty good damage to it, cut it in half and a couple other pieces with my sword without any apparent degradation of the edge, partially because I didn't sharpen it crazy ass sharp for exactly that reason. But speaking of that other project, I'll show you. It's a knife, kind of a long knife dagger type thing for one of my coworkers. It's going to be the first of a lot of things. It's going to be my first double-edged blade. It's going to be my first hidden tang blade, first with a pommel, separate pommel. That's what I bought the piece of 1 inch by 2 inch steel for, so I could get this little block. I mean, I ordered 4 feet of it, but I didn't really need 4 feet for this project, but I'm using 4 feet just because it's nice to have a lot of extra hanging around. The tang's gonna go in there, and the knife's gonna come in out. Yeah, you can't actually see my hands when they're that far apart, but there's a good bit of grinding left to do on this, as you can see. And it's also gonna have a cross guard, which is gonna be this. And here's the piece of steel, 5160 spring steel itself. It has to be still heat treated, but and get the bevels ground and all that. I've started rounding out the end of the tang so that the pommel will be able to fit into it. Right now it doesn't fit very far in. It'll eventually need to fit all the way up to there. And then I'll cut off a good bit of this actually and peen it down. But Dave, if you're watching this, this is yours. This will be yours. So, yep, I'm working hard on that. That's really the only project I'm working on at the moment. Is that the only project I'm working on? Yeah. Yeah, that's the only project I'm working on. And I think I might have mentioned that I have a flat platen for my belt grinder now, which is what I'm going to use to do the grinds on this. All 4 of them. I've done most of the most of the roughing out grinds with the 6-inch contact wheel, which is really, it's really a nice thing to have. I really like this grinder. It's very simple and a little bit flimsy when compared to something like a KMG or a Bader, but it gets the job done. It doesn't track quite as nicely as I expect those probably do, but it works for me, and it's a lot cheaper than busting out $1,500, $2,000 for a grinder. But that's what I'm working on, and just take care and have a great day.